Hello, everybody. This is Leo, and thank you so much for tuning in. This is my new show that I'm launching called How's It Going, Leo? So, the basic format about the show is that I will have a new topic to talk about every week. So, I will talk a little bit about the topic. I'll answer any questions that are sent in or come up live. And viewers like you will have an option to donate to a charity while you're watching. So this week's charity is the CDC Foundation. I feel that is a very relevant foundation to donate to. Right now, with everything that's going on with the COVID-19 situation, I feel it's pretty useful. So anyways, the basic format is that the topics will be announced at least a few days ahead of time on my Instagram and Facebook story, and I'll have an open question submission for a given topic. Same thing, just DM me any questions that you might have. And then after the show, I'll take any questions, suggestions, or requests. So, if I don't get to your question, or you have an idea for my show, or maybe a topic you'd like me to cover, or if you'd like me to bring you on to the show, let me know, and that would be a perfect time. And just one thing, too, before we continue, is that all the information on this show that I cover is purely informational, so do with it as you will. So do your own due diligence before making a material decision, in other words. So anyways, without further ado, this week's topic is the state of real estate. So, with everything that's going on right now, it seems pretty crazy. There's people out wearing masks, shopping, or not wearing masks, running around, and people are all homebound. So I thought this would be a great week to talk about what's going on with real estate. So in terms of what's business like right now in the real estate world, I think a lot of it, like all of you, is being done virtually now. So a little more than some and a little less than others. So I know if you're like in a grocery store, you're pretty much all in person. Whereas if you're a regular 9-to-5 worker, maybe in a tech company, you can work remotely. So real estate is a bit of both. So almost everything is done virtually. So like emailing, phone calling, Zoom, FaceTiming, that's what I've been doing to discuss with my clients, anything that I can help them with, and also to game plan how to proceed. And if you'd like to talk to me about real estate as well, you could feel free to set some time on my calendar with this link. So I'll try and post it down, but the link is calendly.com/Leo-Young. So it's calendly.com/Leo-Young. So just put some time on my calendar. Let's catch up. Let's talk about real estate. Talk about whatever you like. Anyways, so aside from emailing, phone calling, Zooming, in order to show people places, we can do video tours or 3D tours, and also like virtual showings for the most part. So that being going to these places and videoing them before showing it in person to a potential client. And also just bringing in 3D cameras. So there are these things. So Matterport is a common brand that you'll hear. It's basically like this big 3D camera. It'll take a 360 photo. That way you can click around and sort of virtually see the house. And that's super useful just for a lot of people to see the place without actually having to go there. And personally, I think that this sort of trend towards technology is here to stay. So a lot of the features are being sort of forced into play, such as, you know, what I said, the virtual tours, video tours, and after this whole thing is over, I think that people will still like to start their search in person. They like to start their search online and then move subsequent viewings in person. And I think that's great because that saves you time, and it really helps make the process more efficient for people. So you don't have to drive as much, you don't have to get a babysitter or anything like that. Just click through on your computer, take a look at the 3D tours, nice and simple. That's my opinion. And also in the in-person showings that do happen, we make sure to take all the precautions necessary. Like for me personally, I do gloves, masks, I social distance, I bring hand sanitizers, and yeah, all the good stuff. And just in terms of how the showings happen, it's also been kind of interesting because, I mean, aside from what I've been mentioning, the video calls, I mean, the video tours and the FaceTime calls and whatnot, what's happening in person, it's really quite a strange feeling because it's no longer, it's not as, how should I put this? Because you don't, yeah, it's something that you have to get used to. Can't really quite describe that in words yet, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. But in terms of the market activity, as you all may know, the stock market is taking quite a shaking. You know, from super record highs in February, as late as February, to really, really low in March. And now it's sort of oscillating between up days and down days because of just news and also the current events. So I think if anything, people are a lot more in tune with what's going on in the current event situation than they were before. And I was just reading that the new figure is that I think around 36 million people in America applied for unemployment benefits since March. That's pretty crazy. 36 million is a little over 10% of America's population applying for that since March. And that's in 2 months. That's pretty crazy. So, I mean, this situation is pretty unprecedented. And personally, I think it's a health crisis. So, of course, the economy is taking the repercussions, but this is certainly a learning opportunity. And with us still in the right spirits, I think the economy will recover just fine. But one thing for sure is that I've noticed I've been spending a lot less money because I'm not eating out as much and I'm not driving around. So that's a big plus. And in terms of real estate prices, the market is surprisingly stable. That's what I would say. Compared to how much the media is hyping the pandemic up, because the buyers, they're still buying and the sellers are still selling. And in my area, in Weston, Massachusetts, the prices are holding stable. There's not a lot of houses taking price cuts or going into foreclosures. And I think that's in part because of the great government response with the forgiveness programs and things like that. That really sort of protects Americans from losing their homes, which is a great thing. But of course, that would subsequently keep the housing prices stable. So that is, in a way, good news, because there's nothing crazy happening to your house. But also, if you're looking to buy a house and you're looking to get a good deal, maybe it won't happen. There are a few houses here and there that you could get a good deal on, but I'd recommend checking with your realtor to see what's going on in your local market. Just taking a look at sort of Weston's situation. Here, let me pull up a graph and show you guys. So this is this is the average list prices in Weston, and you can see that. Nope, not signing up. Come on, what was that? Hold on. All right, hold on. Not going to sign in. Anyways, so you could see last May, the listing prices averaged around 2.25 million, and this May it's actually gone up a lot. It's 3.36 million, which is pretty crazy. But one thing to look at is the number of new listings. So you see last year was 43 and this year is 8. So that sort of tells you people are sort of more mindful before putting their house on the market. The spring market is no longer the spring market as you know it. So it's not such a no-brainer, it's the spring, I got to put my house on the market. It's more so like, okay, let's think about it. Do I need to sell right now? If I do need to sell, then sure, I have to be patient, and I understand that. That's what I would tell my clients if they're looking to sell their house. However, you see, like the prices did go up, so that's pretty interesting to see. Now, let me show you a second graph. Just hold on. So, second graph. This is the average sold prices in Weston. So, taking a look at last May, average sale price is around 1.7 million, and there's 14 houses sold last May compared to this year is around 1.56 million and 7 houses sold. So, yeah, it's a big decrease in terms of the number of houses that are closed. But again, it's not as big as some would imagine. So it's significant, but not drastic, is what I would say. Basically, the buyers are still buying and the sellers are still selling. So that's good, because basically the market hasn't lost faith in the process, and that's the most important thing. The economy, it's built on confidence. So as long as you're confident that you will get out of this and that the economy is all well, then it'll all be well. So, yeah. With that being said, it's of course it's hard to know what's coming next. But as I said, one thing's for sure is that we will make it out of this. And the question you should be asking yourself is, how will you look on the other side? So, for me personally, I've been taking this opportunity at home to focus on more things that I couldn't really do before, such as programming. So computer programming is something I've been very interested in for a long time. I've tried doing it many times, but it's just I never had the time or the energy to follow through on that. And so far, I've completed a course in Python, which I'm pretty happy about, learning more on HTML/CSS. So that's all good stuff, just hunker down, weather the storm, and develop yourself. Of course, if you're fortunate enough to do so. There's a lot of people out there that don't have this opportunity, and it's really unfortunate. And that's why I give that option down there. If you want to donate to charity while you're watching this, you're more than welcome to. And just one more recommendation is that I recommend that y'all remain calm and don't make any brash decisions like panic selling stocks or hoarding toilet paper, anything like that. And with that being said, I'll answer one of the questions that was sent in to me. This is from Hugo in California. So he asks, what is my favorite book to read? So for me, I love reading books. I crush through them. I listen to books. I read them, everything. So it's hard to say a favorite book of mine, but one book that I enjoyed very much recently and I feel is relevant in today's situation is The Power of Now. So this is a spirituality book written by Eckhart Tolle. And basically, Eckhart is this German spirituality teacher that he spent some time just connecting to himself. He was very depressed before, but he realized that in the present moment, a lot of your problems can be solved. And that's what he did. So he spent just 2 years hanging out in a park bench or something, getting in touch with himself. And I think that there is great power in just being present in the moment and to take a deep breath, to pause for a moment and see what's going on. Right now, yes, there's all this craziness going on, but also we're very fortunate to have what we have. I'm very fortunate to have a roof over me and the resources I have and the friends and connections that I do have. So I think of that. I ground in the present moment, and it's all good, And yeah, sometimes though, not every time is easy. Sometimes I'll get dragged into things and just go into reactionary mode. Like if there's a complicated situation coming up in one of my deals, I might overthink things. And it's important to take the readings from this book to ground yourself and to really think, okay, what is going on in the current moment and what can I do to get the outcome I want? And yeah. So with that being said, we're near the end of the 30-minute mark, and I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to my first episode of How's It Going, Leo? I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a thing or two out of it. If not, I hope you enjoyed seeing my beautiful face. And I'll be doing this every Thursday at 5, just like a quick 30 minutes-ish chat about whatever topic that I announce. Again, I'll announce this ahead of time, and I'll open it up for any questions that you might have. And yeah, so next week I plan to talk a little bit more about mortgages and sort of what's going on with that. So if you have any questions, do let me know. Yeah, and I will see you all next week. Thanks for tuning, guys.